Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, from the porch, 3, 2, 1. All right, the question of the day, and Sherry compiled this session today, is should I rush to buy a home? That is what we are hearing with all that's going on.
$1 million question.
And that is a tough question. Of course, it depends on who you ask, which we're hoping that you ask one of us. And that would be Sherry.
Sherry Darmanine.
Linda Hollington.
And I'm Sylvia Four, and we are all friends and colleagues with Coldwell Banker Realty. So, okay, on one hand, it is certainly more expensive to buy a home right now, or becoming that way. And the prices are hitting another all-time high in March, and mortgage rates have risen sharply this year already. So making this already, it's a daunting to pay monthly payments. They're still high as well. So buyers who wait a few extra months or maybe even a year to pull the trigger, you could pay big time for your delay. Could.
Yeah. And I can understand that because a home that was bought last year when it was 2%, you buy it now, your payment's $700 more.
Right.
And that eats away the equity, all that kind of stuff. And so you start feeling really anxious. And some of you will remember when we're talking 4 times that
Yeah.
in interest rates. So
Yeah.
you don't know where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you kind of feel pushed and rushed, I guess.
Anxious.
Yes.
Anxious. You know, so many of the homes that you'll find on the market might be a stretch financially, like Linda's saying, and that's primarily due to the interest rates. You know, the interest rates going up sometimes will help bring the price of the houses down. It does not happen overnight, and it doesn't always work, but that is the theory. So winning a bidding war on a move-in ready house that meets most of your needs in a good location is way easier than you think. And of course, you probably already know that if you've made several offers on a home trying to win that bidding war. I have clients that have made 6 proposals on various homes trying to win that bidding war, and it's just impossible. However, there is a bright side though, and this is something that has started to work, and that is if you need a home, you may want to consider the FHA 203K renovation loan. Sometimes you can find the home that may not be perfect, it may not be exactly move-in ready, but if you can get a home in your price range and do the renovation loan to get the home fixed up the way you want it, okay, at the end of the day, it may be the way to go. And at least you can get a home with all the stuff you want and then be able to swing the home and affordability at the same time. The rates are a little higher with the renovation loan. But then again, you know, you're either going to do that or constantly spin your wheels in that cage trying to get a win on a bidding war.
Right. And boy, that's frustrating.
It is.
Yeah. So rising prices are definitely a concern. I mean, nationally, the median list price just hit a new record high in March of $405,000. That's a huge increase, just a little under 15% from a year ago. So it's a 26% jump from 2 years ago. So higher mortgage rates are expected to slow the growth down, and we have started to see rate increases, as you all know. So this does not mean that you should purchase any old home just because you got to get into the market. But you accept the fact. I mean, let's just be pragmatic about everything that's going on around us. You have needs and the market is the way it is. So accept the fact that you're a first-time home buyer without millions in your bank account, and you might just not get everything that you'd hoped for in a home. But that's okay. Just compromise. Don't settle. Compromise. And that's key.
Right. And that is really important. Along with that, you want to focus on a home that, and you want to do the numbers. They're saying 5 years here. I'm not sure every house is going to be 5 years on realizing where you a break-even point there. So you want to do the numbers, find out where you're starting to eat equity down a little bit, And that's another good reason to take their suggestions on this, because if you drop, let's say you drop 50 grand, so instead of looking 40, you look at 350, you give up, I don't know, granite countertops or whatever, and put your own in at some point. But you can use that to go towards your principal. So you're going to get there faster. You know, get that principal paid down. That's less interest. That's a win-win all the way around. So you might consider something like that.
Yeah, the housing market may seem impossible to break into, and you may not get, like Linda says, that fully renovated kitchen with all the bells and whistles, but you can't lose hope. You know, just make sure it has good bones. It's still within a commuting distance for whether it's work or the kids' schools or what have you. Just make sure you're in an area that you want to be in, and you can always renovate the bathroom and add a new kitchen or what have you. And the key to that is 5 years, and they put that there as 5-year time span of when you're going to be able to realize some additional equity. Once you've been in the home in 5 years, you're going to have some equity built up in there. So you can take out like an equity line of credit or something of that nature to do some renovations that you want to do on your home. Because remember, if you're offering above asking, you know, you're going to have to sit in that house for a while to be able to realize that difference. You know, it's because we already as realtors have done our market analysis and pretty much have an idea as to what that home will bear. Okay, if you're offering above asking, now you've got yourself a little bit in a red line. Okay,
Right.
So you got to try to think about that. It's also crucial to make sure you have enough money for the down payment and closing costs. I mean, let's not forget that. And a lot of people do.
Yeah.
You know, they're so quick to say, well, offer 20 above. Well, that's great, but you're also going to increase your closing costs and your down payment in addition to that. You know, you want to be able to do that remodeling so you can fix that home up the way you want it, because you're probably not going to get exactly perfect home, because even new homes have gone up crazy, you know. So stay within your budget. Don't become house poor. You don't want to be strapped to the home, because that's going to bring on a lot of other baggage, you know.
And a lot of gray hairs.
And a lot of gray
Take it
hairs.
from me.
You want to make sure you have the ability to go to dinner and maybe take a
Yes.
vacation, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be house poor. And your home will just happen if you're persistent, you know. So just stay persistent, stay on course, keep your head on your shoulders. Try not to go crazy over asking prices and things like this, because you just have to have a house, because that's not always the case. There are other alternatives. And do me a favor. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube.
That's a favor for all of us. And ladies, is that about it today?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on the Porch 321. Have a beautiful day.
We'll see you next week.